Apple Gift Card is a practical gift that unlocks a world of entertainment and fun. You can send it via email or give a physical card to your loved ones. Your friends and family can spend it on their favorite Apple services, including Apple subscriptions. Apple Gift Card can be used to buy all things Apple: products, accessories, apps, games, movies, TV shows, iCloud Plus, and more. Visit apple.com for details and to send Apple Gift Cards to your friends and family this holiday season.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I overall wanted to, because I know there's so let me just explain to y'all what had happened last night. So there are some YouTubers that I react to, like Mommy Boys or Mom Boys, or I don't know. I thought I had like a name down for them, but MOME Boys. So that's their name, but anyways, they shouted me out on Instagram last night, and I got some followers from that. So I just wanted to take the time to thank them and let them know that they are greatly appreciated. I really do appreciate that shout out. It was crazy because I opened up Instagram, and that was literally the first thing that I seen. So it was destined for me to go on, because I think I had just seen the post like maybe 2-3 minutes after it was posted. And I'm like, bro, that is crazy. Like, I open up Instagram, and that's one of the first things that I see. So, anyways, yeah, I was getting some followers off of it. And I clicked on some of the followers and stuff, just to see, like, oh, okay, are these, like, guys following, like, these YouTubers? Because it's like a group of YouTubers. This is this one guy named Crispy Concords, Soup. What are some other YouTubers a part of that group? Hypernova Puma. There's like a lot of guys. Like, if I had I had to because I'm not trying to say the wrong names, or or just not say a name at all. So those are just the two I know off of the bat, because those are the ones that I watch the most. I need to watch all of these guys. But anyways, they post some music. They actually post some like comedy type music, but then some of the music actually are bangers. There's like one song that they created called Thighs Like Mewtwo. And yeah, that was a song I was like, I had on repeat just because it slaps. I'm like, yo, that's a banger. I'm like, nah, that's a good song. So, but anyways, I seen that a lot of the followers were people that I went to school, or not people that I went to school with, but people that do go to school, like high school and stuff. So that's what's more so the inspiration behind this episode. I just got some high schoolers following me. I know that there's like people that are still in like school following me and things, because just based off of comments that people have left before. Like, I remember I posted a video one time like super late at night. Somebody was just like, bro, I got school tomorrow. And that's how I knew. I'm all like, a lot of them. Plus on like YouTube, then it shows like how many like people that are like in school watching your videos and things. So, but anyways, so this episode, things that belong in school and things that shouldn't belong. So like things that shouldn't and should belong in school. That's what I think I'm going to title this episode. But no, there's like some things that do belong in school that I'm like, I feel like they would be very like helpful and positive for the students. And then there's some things that just doesn't belong in school that's like, who came up with this? Like, and based off of your guys' reasoning, I'm like, and that's one of the things like that I wanted to talk about was, I know at least for my school district, they had a very strict no hat policy. And the only time when that, like, no hats, no hoods, none of that. So it could be like a comedy hat. Like, it could be like seriously a giant like top hat or any form of hat whatsoever. And literally, if it is covering the top of your head, you can't wear it. You cannot wear it. So it could be for Halloween. It could be, my thing is like, bruh, I never understood that. Because they always said the reason why they have the no hat and hood policy was so they can identify a student. In case the student, I guess, wanted to get up there and that crazy. And they're all like, oh, okay, like we can very well. My thing is like, I don't know, like what they're thinking of, but if it's like worst case scenario, like the kid like is a school shooter or something, if he doesn't want his face to be shown, he can literally show up to the school any point in time he wants to with a hood on, a mask on, literally anything covering his face, head whatsoever. So my thing is like there should be enough teachers or just security or just enough people walking around to where that type of stuff shouldn't even matter. But I'm like, yeah, it's and more so like more securities because I'm like they at my school. I don't even remember if they had security guards at my middle school. I don't think they did. They might have. I don't know. It's been years. Like it's literally been like 10 years or something, 10 plus years, I think, since the last time I stepped foot into a middle school. I think the last time I went to a middle school was to see a good friend of mine's that was and that was like what, maybe 14, 15. So I was like, it's been years since I've been to a school. It's been almost either it's been over 10 years or it's been almost 10 years since I've been to a middle school. But I didn't go to middle school to visit my teachers, none of that. So, but it was like that was just something I never really understood. I'm like, why is that such a problem if a kid, I'm like, especially if it's cold outside or if that's what the kid wants to wear, if they want to wear a hat, let them wear a hat. My thing, and then I remember there was one teacher, she was kind of like on and off. Like you didn't really know whether she was going to be having a good day or a bad day. I think I might have told you guys about her a few episodes, some episodes ago. I can't remember exactly when, but I remember there's this teacher. She told me that I wasn't going to graduate because I didn't know how to use a blood pressure cuff. I'm like, there are kids that literally don't know how to do some of the most critical things that can save a person's life. Me not knowing how to use a blood pressure cuff, 90% of the school that I went to, 90% of probably this world doesn't know how to use a blood pressure cuff. I'm saying, like, I feel like that's a question that I should just ask people and stuff. Do you know how to use a blood pressure cuff? Because no, that teacher, I'm like, something was like wrong with her. I remember she showed us a video of a person's head getting decapitated in a car accident. I'm like, that teacher is wild, man. She was seriously like, something was like mentally wrong with her. She said she got into a car accident. And I'm like, yeah, you definitely got hit across your head a couple of times in that car accident because I don't see how you became a teacher. She said she's like a first responder and a teacher. I'm like, I would not want you to help me in no situation where I'm like stuck. I'm like, I'll find my own way out. But I'm like, I don't need your help. So, but anyways, so yeah, I remember she would say like, oh, if we were wearing a Seahawks hat, we were allowed to wear hats in front of her. But I'm like, okay, what if this student is not from Seattle? I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. So if a kid like moved from California to here for some odd reason, he's a 49ers fan or he was a Raiders fan. I know the Raiders are in Las Vegas right now, but regardless, like if they're a fan of another team, like I should be able to support whichever team like I want to support. I shouldn't have to keep my head from getting cold. And I'm like, that could be like a thing, like especially a student like myself, where literally I was getting a haircut like all the time. All the time. I had like limited like afro usage when I was in school. So I'm like, now I don't really care. But back then I was like, a haircut was like felt like at some point in times it was like an important, thing to me. And so, but now I was like, I don't know, I feel like I was like kind of, but that was only to just like, because I was at work and stuff. So that was really the only time. But I'm like, now I'm like, I've been home for the majority of this time. I'm like, yeah, I don't really care for a haircut right now. But anyways, but yeah, I'm like, but no, like there's kids out there where there was this one kid, he had like this hair condition where he couldn't even grow any hair. And I'm like, that kid, I'm like, yo, that's messed up for him because I'm telling you, he couldn't, like, there was, like, no, he didn't have, like, no eyebrows. He didn't have, like, no hair on the top of his head, like, no facial hair, none of that. Like, that kid, like, he had, like, some sort of hair condition. So I'm like, I know he has to be cold. At least can he wear a hat? Because I'm like, dang, I'm feeling for this kid right now. Like, I know when I got my hair cut and it was cold outside, I'm like, bro, nah, man, I need me a hat or a hood or something. And I remember there was this one week where it was like super cold outside. It was actually the same week it was like the Seahawks parade because they had just won that Super Bowl. So there was like this week, like for those that are not from Seattle or that don't live in Seattle, and even for those that do live in Seattle, like there was that one week, like talking to my Seattle neighbors, my Washington neighbors, they remember that one week where the Seahawks won that Super Bowl and it was like 20 below. Like it was, well, no, it was not 20 degrees below zero, but like, no, it was like 20 degrees and below. Like it was not, anything was not going past 20 degrees. So it was like, I remember there was one morning, I think it was like literally like 15, 16 degrees outside. I had to wear a hat. I'm like, nah, I don't even care if I have hair on my body or across my head. Like, no, I'm wearing a hat because it is way too cold for this. And I kid you guys not, there's this teacher, she was the detention lady. I'm pretty sure for those that went to my school, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But she's walking up and down the hallways, snatching hats off of kids' heads, talking about, oh, meet me after school if you want your hat. I'm like, yo, I was so mad. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for this one teacher, there's this one teacher. Me and him was cool. I seen him every single morning. I think I talked on him not too long ago, but he told me like, hey, she's walking up and down the hallways, so it'd probably be best, to take your hat off. And I listened to him because that was a teacher that I respected. That was a teacher, he wasn't acting all crazy or weird towards me and stuff. So, anyways, I listened, took my hat off. But what if I was one of those kids that didn't listen? My thing is like, if it wasn't for him and she came up and had did that, or came up and was trying to like tell me to give me, I'm like, I'm not get. She came up to me and was all like, give me your hat. I'm like, I ain't giving you nothing. I'm like, you're gonna have to chase me down for this hat, because I'm like, it is way too cold to be not wearing no hat and stuff. So my thing is like, okay. So anywhere else, if this is on a whole thing where it's like, oh, we need to be able to recognize the student. So let's say if this is, the real world, like outside of school, like you going to work or something like that. You don't see no cop up and down the street telling people to take your hat off so I can identify you. You literally don't know who this kid is. My thing is like, a school is just like another like downtown Seattle. It's a bunch of people walking all over the place. So literally a teacher, a custodian, a lunchroom lady, a freaking whatever, the principal, if they decided that they were going to snap and do something, it can literally be anybody at that school. So my thing is like, I feel like the whole no hat policy or no hood policy, that needs to be taken out. Because I'm like, nah, fam. I'm like, there be some days where it's cold and I'm like, I need my hat, all right? So and I remember they was just all like, oh, when you're in a classroom, you gotta take your hat off. But when you're in I'm like, yeah, y'all saying that because you guys got a full head of hair. But for people like myself that got the Michael Jordan cut and there's literally nothing on the top of my head, I'm like, no, I need me a hat inside and outside. So I'm like, I'm not taking my hat off. So I think there's like some teachers, they understood that, because I'm like, yo, there's teachers out here with like hair down to the middle of their back. Literally, all they just got to is take their hair, wrap it around their head a couple of times, and they straight. Me, I can't do that. I cannot do that. I'm like, I can't even do that now. And I'm like, I barely even like, I mean, I got hair on the top of my head, but I'm like, I'm saying like, I need something to like, I need me a hat, because a hat's going to keep me warm. I'm like, you can't rely on your hair all the time. So, but anyways, there's that. And I have to say that a thing that should be in school, and maybe, I know like, and it needs to be for the schools that don't do this. Like, I know that there's like other schools that, they allow like students to go off campus to go get them something to eat, because, and that's what overall what it is. I'm on like, kids should be able to go off campus to go get them something to eat, because school food is horrible. I reacted to this video where it was like, I think it was like Mexican moms like try school food, and they wasn't feeling it. They was not feeling it at all. They was all like, they were saying that like, I think one of the moms had said like they would not want their kid to be eating that and stuff. And I'm like, facts. I wouldn't want to be eating that. I didn't even want to eat any of that food, because I'm telling you, the food was nasty. Literally, the only thing that was good there, okay, was the milk, the snacks from the vending machines, and then there was this like cheesy bread that they were, oh man, that bread was, I think I talked on that one time where I was like, after I had graduated, I had like, because the cheesy bread was like $3. So I'm like, bro, I'm about to, seriously, I should just go up there, get a backpack, pretend like I'm a student, because it's like, what, they ain't gonna be paying attention and things. And so I'm like, I should pretend like I'm a student, and then just be like, yo, I'm just, in line, just keep my head down, walk out them, because they're like, so where that area was at to get the cheesy bread was like right next to the front door to the school. So seriously, after I get it, shake a couple of hands, give a couple of friends some hugs, but I'm out of there. I'm like, nah, bro, I am leaving. I am just gone. And so, yeah, I was like, bro, when that had happened, what was going to happen was that, like, I was just going to, that was my original plan, but Yeah, I was like, they sadly they stopped selling the cheesy bread. I'm like, why would they get rid of that? I asked one of my friends because I messaged them and was just all like, yo, they still selling the cheesy bread, because I know like every year they always change up something about the school, and they was all like, no, they ain't selling the cheesy bread no more. I'm like, man, that doesn't even make any sense. I should have just went up there myself and seen, but I was like, bro, then watch. Then been a student, been all like, wait a minute, didn't you graduate? I'm like, hey, that's not what we here for. Okay, I will talk to you after we do this exchange. I give you $3, you give me my cheesy bread, and there won't be no problems. Okay, so let's talk about that first, and then we talk about me graduating afterwards. As soon as they hand me my cheesy bread, I'm like, yes, I did graduate. Turn around, walk away, I'm out of there. So I'm like, I'm not there to cause any harm or cause any damage to anybody. It was just that school, they did have some good cheesy bread. So, but yeah, they stopped selling it. But I'm all like, see, that's why I'm like, because there was like multiple places that you can go to around my school. So they had like a gas station up the street, so you could literally go there, get any snacks or whatever. They had Safeway further down, we're in the opposite way of my school, and then further up that Safeway. And then it's like, if you like go further up and then you take a right, then there was like a Starbucks, there was a McDonald's, and I'm like, okay, like if kids are like walking and things, I'm like, yeah, okay, then you need to walk somewhere a little bit closer and get you some food. But for the kids that's like driving and things, like I remember one of my it was my like childhood friend. So I remember it was when we were doing the practice graduations. And yeah, and they have it where it's like we gotta like go there, walk a certain way, do all these, like it was like our graduation was choreographed. I'm like, bro, this ain't no graduation. I'm like, this is a performance. I'm like, y'all could have just mailed me my diploma and stuff, and I'm like, and I could have eliminated all of this. I fell asleep in my graduation. I was just like, nah, because the school president got up there and got to talking about some random stuff, and I'm like, I was seriously snoozing because it was early in the morning. I'm like, bro, and I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, I just came here to get a diploma, and that was it. I had my head back, and I was out. I'm like, luckily I wasn't snoring or anything, but I'm like, man, I ain't come here for all this. I came here for a diploma, all right? I'm like, I got my credits. I got everything I needed. I'm like, give me my stuff so I can just never have to come back here again. But anyways, but no, back on the school lunch. And then, like, to talk on the school lunch, because I know people are like, the school lunch couldn't have been that bad. No, it was. It was. You could tell, like, whoever was making the food did not care. They did not care at all. Because, no, I remember the last time I had pizza, they had it where, because, no, I remember they took away, the white bread from the deli line. So that's why I'm like, okay, so I stopped eating the deli because I don't like wheat bread. And I'm like, I guess it has to be healthier or something. I'm like, you shouldn't give a kid that option what bread they're going to have. I'm like, bread is bread. I'm like, you think Jesus was back then taking away white bread? I'm like, no, whatever bread they had, that was the bread they were eating. I'm like, if Jesus out here taking away bread, talking about, oh no, we all going to eat wheat bread from now on because white bread ain't good for you. I'm like, but yeah, you obviously going to listen to Jesus. But I'm like, this is Thomas Jefferson High School. Jesus don't run this school. So therefore, I'm like, if anybody should be taking away bread, it should be the student. I'm like, that. They didn't even like allow us to vote on what foods should be there and what stuff shouldn't be there. They just take it away. I'm like, bro, if this is like my meal, what am I supposed to eat from now on? Like and then, oh my God, one thing that they should take away from school lunches is them free sandwiches that they give out in case you didn't have no money. They should just take away that whole like, oh, paying for food thing altogether. Because I'm like, we're some students. This ain't like, it's funny how they'll try to like tell you like, oh, this is how the real world is and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think so. Not if the food is nasty. I'm like, I wouldn't want to pay money to eat some nasty food. I want to pay money for some good food. Like we have that option. So that's what I'm saying. Like we should be able to go wherever there. If we working at some job, even when I was working at this cafe job, I ate like minimum food there. I will always go to like this corner store or somewhere else to eat my food. It wasn't that their food was bad. It was just wasn't food that I would eat. I'm a picky eater. So my thing was like, if they were to approach me and say that I'm no longer allowed to go to Bartell's to get me a protein shake, I would have left that job. Hands down. I'm like, how are you guys going to tell me what to do and what not to, or where to eat and where not to eat? I'm like, nah, man, I got two working legs. Okay, I got a working debit card, and there's protein shakes and Bartell's. I'm going to that Bartell's. Like, if they honestly, I'm like, yeah, if they fire you or suspend you or whatever, because you going, it doesn't work like that. The real world doesn't work like that. So I like how some schools, they'll like, practice like real world techniques, but then other things they won't practice of the real world. And I'm like, man, you schools is backwards, bro. But anyways, what are some things that they should allow? Oh, they should allow where you can go onto YouTube. They should definitely allow that. I'm like, yo, and if the kid is like, of course, like monitor what they're looking up and things. But yeah, but it's like that's the thing, you gotta understand. Like a kid is gonna have like a sense of humor. So if they're watching like I don't know my videos or the people that I'm reacting to, like Soup McNasty or Vanos Gaming or just whatever and things, I'm like, okay, that's what kids watch and stuff. So I'm like, I feel like that if they're doing it because I'm like, oh, they got cussing in it and things, I'm like, literally every student at my school was cussing. There was at times where teachers was cussing. So I'm like, I was not even the like preppy kids that was like, oh, straight A's, never got in trouble and all of that. They were even cussing. So I'm like, yeah, they should definitely. I'm like, I feel like that they should have allowed YouTube in the because I'm like all of those like any like sourceful like website, like a website that you need to go to for some like school related work, you couldn't go to it because it was blocked. So a lot of like websites or any of that stuff was blocked, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. I can understand if that's blocked, but YouTube, I feel like that's an area where it has like very like reliable videos or just places that you can overall like go to and look. But I'm like, yo, there's like websites where I'm like that wouldn't really have like accurate information, or they just wouldn't have the information I was looking for. But I'm like, I know YouTube has it, so that's why I'm like, a lot of times if I had if we had to go to the library for something, or I had to do like some computer related stuff, I will always pull my phone out and then just look, because I'm all like, yeah, because I was at the time being, I was like, I remember I had like unlimited data and all that stuff, so I was like, bro, I was on my phone left and right. But no, yeah, I would look up stuff and I'm just like, oh, like, yeah, because I couldn't, there's a website that I need to go on. And I'll just tell the teacher, I'm like, yo, I'm not doing anything inappropriate. There's a website that I need to go on where it had like the information I was looking for. So I'm just, on my phone for a second. I'm not texting. You can literally stand over me. My phone is dry. There is not one person texting me right now. I'm like, my phone is dry. The only text messages I'm going to be getting is probably from my mom, dad, maybe my sister, or freaking, I don't know, but that's about it. Literally all like, I'm one of them, I'm an old fashioned type person. I'm like, I guess if I can't really, go face to face and talk to you, then I would text you, I'll message you and stuff. But for the most part, I'm a face to face type person. I'm like, I have to like, talk to you face to face. I'm like, I don't really, care for the whole like talking. I mean, I'm like texting, all right, but I'm not like a talking on the phone type person. I don't really like doing that for some reason. I'll text, but I won't be talking on the phone. I need to turn some lights on. Hold on, let me turn this lamp thing on real quick, because it's all like gloomy outside and stuff. And I'm like, bro, is it planning on raining today? I don't even know if they had like, I can't even remember if they said like something about like you couldn't have umbrellas at the school, but oh, it is raining. Dang, and the Seahawks is supposed to be playing today. Dang, I wonder how that's gonna affect them. I wonder. Well, it probably not. They ain't gonna do nothing. But anyways, what are some other things that they should allow at school? Or maybe not allow. Oh man, I feel like I might like discussed everything. I can't really think of anything right now. Yeah, I can't really think of anything right now. I was gonna talk about like school outfits. I guess like they shouldn't be so strict on that, especially if it's like, I know they would get on kids for wearing like tank tops, or they'll get on a girl for wearing like short skirts and stuff. Because I remember one of my friends, so there was this area that we would chill at like every morning, and so there was one of my friends, she showed up, she kind of had like this skirt on, or it was like a short skirt, but anyways, one of the teachers came up to her and was just like, oh, can you put your arms down real quick? And I guess like if your arms was longer than I'm like, but what if you got like long arms for no reason? Then what do you do? Like, I'm like, I can't help it if my arms are long. My arms are pretty long. Like, if I stand up and just let my arms go straight, like, down, they're almost, like, touching my knees and stuff. They're, like, right above my knees. So I'm like, I got, like, some long arms. I'm like, I'm sorry, and I don't know, maybe that got something to do with my shoulders just being slouched or what, but yeah, I'm like, bro, that's honestly, I'm about to, any kid out there, you deal with some teachers like that, so just like, make like your arms, like, I don't know, get some arm surgeries. That's what they're honestly expecting from you. I'm like, what? I'm like, I can't wait for the day where it's all like they do that to a kid, and their arms are like, they got like an arm like problem where their arms are just abnormally short. and their arms like come up to their stomachs or something. I'm like, oh, you got jokes, huh? I'm like, you know what? I'm about to take this short arm, get as close as I possibly can, and punch you in your face. Like that seriously was gonna happen one day, or they're gonna do it to what? Oh, what if it was like a kid they didn't even have an arm? They was just like, oh, can you put your like you like nah. I'm like you over here trying to crack jokes. I'm like talking about put your arms down. I ain't even got no arms. I'm like, bro. I'm like, cause this is like, yeah, it's like, what if I was in some like freak accident or something, you know? I'm like, you can't, no, don't do that. But anyways, I feel like they shouldn't be so strict about that type of stuff. Like, I mean, you know, I guess like if the girl is like literally like, cause I think she was wearing like some leggings and stuff. So I'm like, yo, literally, my thing is like, okay, if they're doing that because they're like, they know guys is gonna look at her. Guys is gonna like, my thing is like, there was guys at my school that was looking at a girl regardless of whatever. She could have been dressed as a nun. If that girl was like the baddest girl at the school, dudes was gonna stare at her regardless. So I'm like, that was like, I don't even see the whole reason for the whole like, oh, y'all got dressed a certain way and things. And then I know for guys, they were all like, oh, guys aren't allowed to wear tank tops. I'm like, what if it's hot outside? I'm like, yo, y'all got some like really jacked up weather conditions, or like, you know, for clothes and stuff. Like we can't wear hats during the winter, and if it's hot outside, we can't wear a tank top. I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. So I'm like, if that's what literally, there was like one kid I remember, he had to like, they told him he had to put his jacket on. It was like, it was hot outside. I do remember it being hot outside. And this was a kid that like worked out a lot too. And I'm like, okay, if he needs to have his like, you know, tank top showing and stuff, if he's trying to look like Carl Johnson from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, let him look like that. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem, but nah, he had to put his jacket on. I'm like, man, that's crazy. But anyways, I'm like, and this was like in middle school. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like something like that y'all shouldn't even really, you know, trip about. But what else? What else should they? I feel like one thing that they should add to schools is like classrooms that will actually teach you about the real world and stuff, like working and businesses and all of that stuff. Like, you know, stuff that will actually teach you about, you know, actual jobs. I feel like learning about gravity or about some planets or about some rocks, I'm like, that ain't gonna really get me a job. You know, if I'm trying to like work for some like $billion company or something like that, I'm like, I feel like learning about, because my thing is like, if you ask any teacher, any science teacher, history teacher, if you ask any teacher, I feel like that maybe math, reading and writing, those would be classes where it's like it can help you and stuff with the real world. Because I'm like, you need to know math, you need to know how to read, you need to know how to write. So those classes, language classes too, like Spanish and all that, I feel like those are like classes that you need. Because I'm like, yo, there's times where I'm like, there's not even on the fact that it's like some real world stuff. There's at times where I'm like listening to a song that's in Spanish. I was just listening to this one song in Spanish, and I was all like, bro, that song like actually slaps. But I'm like, I don't know what the man is saying. So I'm like, there's a couple of songs like that. But yeah, I'm like, bro, like, they should have put me in the Spanish class. I'm like, I feel like they shouldn't put no like student that speak English in the English class. I'm like, nah, I speak English. So I'm like, I literally don't like, I'm like, yeah, put me in a class where I'm like, I don't know, like advanced English, where it's teaching me about big words and stuff. They teaching me how to use there, and there. I'm like, bro, like, just let me go my life messing up on that. Or just let it where I get into an argument on Facebook or something, and if I accidentally put the wrong there, let like somebody that I'm arguing with correct me. But I'm like, I'm not gonna learn, I'm like, I don't care for any of that stuff in class. But anyways, I'm like, but no, like Spanish, some stuff, like I feel like that would be more like, you know, that can help you in the long run. Because I'm like, yo, if I had like a Spanish class, bro, it probably would have been a lot easier to communicate with some of the employees that I was working with at this cafe job, because a lot of them were Hispanic. And so I'm like, bro, I would have fit in perfectly if I would have knew some Spanish. But I'm like, bro, I just literally no idea what they're talking about half the time. So they come up to me and they start saying stuff, and their accents was thick. I'm like, bro, hold on for it. Can you like write down what you're saying? And I'm like, bro, I do not understand. I'm like, I'm not even saying that to be funny. Like, no, I truly do not understand what is going on right now. But anyways, what are some other things they should have? Yeah, I pretty much talked on everything. I'm like, I don't know. I'll probably do like a part 2 and stuff and see some other things that they can have and not have in schools. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you follow or subscribe if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service. I have a merch store out, so yeah, it's promoting like the podcast. It's promoting my name, TMossBoss, and my new brand that I just came out with, Wastelanders. So yeah, gonna check out my merch store. You can find it in the description of all my recent videos. Also in the bio of my Instagram account. So yeah, follow me on Instagram at TMossBoss. Yeah, you're gonna be finding some stuff on there. It's some pretty cool merch. But anyways, talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.